Hi everyone. So today, if you look at our objective, we are going to talk about converting angles from degrees to radians and vice versa. So that just means we can work in both directions. We can convert from degrees to radians and we can convert from radians to degrees. So we can work both ways. You've probably done a lot of conversions in previous classes or even in science before. So if we need to convert things from feet to inches or convert from cups to quarts or whatever it is, we're going to do that now with angles. So when we convert, we don't want to change the value of what we start with, right? We just want to change the units that we're in. So if we don't want to change the value, what we're really doing is multiplying by 1. But we need to get some units involved so that we can actually change it from one to the other. So we're going to see two different conversion fractions in this lesson. The first one is pi radians over 180 degrees. So if we look back to previous lessons, we've learned that 180 degrees and pi radians are actually the same angle and they're in the same spot. So that fraction equates to 1. It's just they're in different units. The second conversion fraction we'll use in this lesson is just the flip of that. So 180 degrees over pi radians. And we just need to know when to use each of these fractions. And it's all going to depend on what the problem is given to us in. So if the problem is given to us in degrees, we're going to use this first fraction so that our degrees will end up canceling. And we'll take a look at that in a minute. And we'll use the bottom fraction when it's given in radians, so that our radians will cancel, and then we could get an answer in degrees. Okay? So we're going to take a look at 4 examples today. The first 2, if we take a look at those, it says to convert each angle in degrees to radians. So we're going to express our answer as a multiple of pi. So all that means is we will have pi in our answers. So number 1, negative 160 degrees. So because this problem is given to us in degrees, we're going to use the first conversion fraction. So I'm going to grab that, and we're going to multiply by pi radians over 180 degrees. Now this negative 160 is just over 1. And we're going to multiply straight across and do some canceling. So we have degrees in the top and in the bottom. So I'm going to cancel that out. They told us to leave pi in our answer. So if we multiply straight across, we'll get negative 160 pi radians over 1 times 180 is just 180. And then we just need to simplify. So you could do that simplification in your head or on your own, or you could use your calculator and it actually simplifies fractions for you. So if we type in negative 160, and then we use our fraction button over 180, it's going to simplify that for us to negative 8 over 9. So because they wanted us to leave pi in the answer, we do not want to include that in our calculator, because remember, pi is a number and it would throw off our fraction. So we're going to just rewrite this as negative 8 pi over 9. And that's our answer. Okay. The second example is 510 degrees. So again, because it's given in degrees, we're going to use this first conversion fraction. So we'll multiply by pi radians over 180 degrees. This 510 is really over 1. And we multiply straight across. So we have degrees top and bottom, so that will cancel. 510 times pi radian is just 510 pi radians. And in the bottom, we have 1 times 180, which is just 180. And then we simplify. So if we grab our calculator, we want to do 510, and then use our fraction button over 180. This gave it to me as a mixed fraction, so I'm just going to switch that to an improper fraction, and we get 17 over 6. So our final answer is going to be 17 pi over 6. Okay. And both of these final answers are in radians. The next two examples are working the other direction, so we're going to convert each angle in radians to degrees. So the first example, we have 23 pi over 5. This example is in radians because we don't see a degree symbol. And because we're in radians, if it's given in radians, we're going to use the second conversion fraction. So I'm going to multiply by 180 degrees over pi radians. And we're multiplying straight across. So some things that are the same top and bottom, I have radians top and bottom that will cancel. And I also have pi top and bottom that will cancel in this problem. So when I multiply straight across, 23 times 180 is 4,140. And that is in degrees over 5. And now we simplify. So in our calculator, if we put 4,140 divided by 5, we get 828 degrees. The last example today, we have negative 15. Again, we do not see a degree symbol, so it is in radians. And we're going, because it's given in radians, we're going to multiply by 180 over pi. And we'll multiply straight across. So this negative 15 radian is really over 1. Things that are the same top and bottom, we do have radians, top and bottom, that will cancel, but that's it. So when we multiply straight across, we do negative 15 times 180, and we get negative 2,700, and that's in degrees. And then in the bottom, we have 1 times pi, which is just pi. And we simplify. So we take negative 2,700 and divide by pi. And we get a long decimal because pi is a never-ending decimal, but we will round. It didn't specify how it wanted us to round in this problem, so I'm just going to do 3 decimal places. So we're going to get negative 859.437. And that's still in degrees. So those are our notes today. Hopefully you got some good examples in. There is a worksheet for you guys to go do now. And then if you have any questions, just ask your teacher.